A body found. No answers. Hey, night listener. Tonight we enter the shadows. The rain falls in sheets. A steady beat against the dim streetlights that flicker like tired sentinels in the dark. Each drop echoes as it hits the pavement. The sound a quiet reminder that nothing stays hidden for long. The streets are empty, but the air feels thick with secrets. And tonight, secrets are the currency. If this story found you, maybe it's because you've been followed too. The body is nothing extraordinary at first glance, just a figure lying there in the rain, eyes wide open, staring up at the sky like it's the last thing they'll ever see. It's the position, though, that doesn't sit right. The way it sprawls across the pavement, arms askew as though carelessly thrown there, makes something inside you stir. It shouldn't have been like this. No one should be left like this, exposed in the dark, rain soaking through their clothes, no trace of life left behind. But there's something more, something that doesn't make sense, because while the body is there, the reason it's dead is nowhere to be found. No sign of struggle, no obvious wounds, no weapon left behind. The police are already at the scene, their flashlights cutting through the misty rain, scanning every corner for evidence. But you're not just another bystander. You don't belong here, not in this moment. You've been following the case from the start, but you've always been outside the law, always on the other side. And now, something is calling you. The body is just the beginning. Whoever did this knew what they were doing. You think to yourself, the way they positioned the body, the way it was left, no random killer would leave it so. Neat. You step forward. Not too close. Not yet. You don't need to get too close to understand. The rain is washing away everything. But there's one thing it can't cleanse the feeling. Someone wanted this to happen. Someone who isn't afraid of being found. A chill runs down your spine, because it doesn't take much to realize they're watching. They're always watching, waiting for someone like you to get too curious, to get too close. The darkness presses in, and you feel the weight of it. This is just the beginning. The body's already been found. Now, it's your turn to figure out why. So, before we vanish into this mystery, like the video and subscribe only if you can handle the truth buried beneath the lies. Now, lock your doors, take a deep breath, and follow me into the dark. The first clue. The rain continues its relentless fall, drenching everything in its path. But there's something else in the air now. The scent of wet earth mixes with the lingering fragrance of gasoline and metal, familiar, but not comforting. The streets feel too wide, too empty, as if the world itself is holding its breath, waiting for something to break the silence. You know you shouldn't be here, standing in the periphery of the police's investigation, but you can't stop yourself. Not this time, not with this body. You take a slow, deliberate step closer to the scene, your shoes making no sound on the wet pavement. The officers, distracted with their own tasks, don't notice you, and you move like a shadow, blending into the night, a witness without a name. The body is still, lifeless, no pulse, no breath, but the thing that stands out, that hits you the hardest, is the look in the victim's eyes, wide open, unblinking, as if they were staring at something that terrified them. You can't look away from those eyes. A flash of movement catches your attention. One of the officers is kneeling down near the body, carefully inspecting the ground around it. The others continue their work, but this one he's pulling something from the mud, hidden under the victim's left hand. You move instinctively, careful not to make a sound. He lifts it, a glint of silver in his hand. A key. It's not just any key. It's old, worn, and from the way it glimmers under the harsh light of the police flashlight, you can tell it's not the type of thing someone would casually drop. The officer holds it in his hand for a moment longer than necessary, as if considering its significance. Then, as if he doesn't want anyone else to notice, he slips it into his pocket. Your heart skips a beat. That key means something, something more than what he realizes. You can't help yourself. You edge closer, your eyes darting to the police officers and the victim's body, your mind racing with questions. What does this key unlock? What connection does it have to this crime? The key isn't just a clue, it's a doorway, and you've just seen it open. The rain beats harder now, a steady rhythm that drowns out everything else, but you can still feel the pull, the heavy weight of the mystery that you're now tangled in. You don't know why you've been drawn to this case. Maybe it's fate. Maybe it's just that something feels wrong about this whole thing. But this key feels like the first thread in a tapestry of secrets. Do you see it yet? The voice, soft and faint, cuts through your thoughts like a knife. It's barely a whisper, but it lands heavy, as though it's been waiting for you to listen. You're not just investigating a murder, you're chasing something darker, something buried. You freeze for a moment, the hairs on your neck standing up as a chill runs down your spine. The voice is gone before you can process it fully, but the unease lingers, crawling under your skin like an itch. You can't scratch. The officer stands up, turning away from the body, leaving the key in his pocket. He doesn't know what he's holding, but you do. And now, you have to know more. You take a deep breath, the taste of rain on your lips, and for the first time, you wonder if you're in over your head. But there's no turning back now. The key has been given to you. The door is just beginning to open, and you have to follow where it leads. The witness. The rain intensifies, a relentless torrent falling from the sky. Each drop a reminder that the night is far from over. The key is heavy in your pocket, weighing down not just your coat, but your thoughts as well. You've seen the officers scatter, their attention drawn to the body and the scattered evidence around it. But one of them lingers, a tall man with a sharp jawline and tired eyes, his face shadowed beneath the brim of his hat. He looks like he's seen it all before. He walks past you, his footsteps quiet in the downpour, and for a brief moment, his eyes flicker in your direction. You freeze, but the moment passes quickly, and he moves on. The cold wind bites through your coat as you step into the shadows, watching him from the corner of your eye. He's not looking for you, but something tells you that he should be. You follow him at a distance, your footsteps muffled by the wet pavement as he moves toward the alley behind the building. His gait is purposeful, but slow, like he's weighed down by something. You don't know why, but you can't shake the feeling that he's hiding something, that he knows more than he's letting on. You move closer, keeping your distance, careful not to make a sound. The alley is dimly lit, the streetlights barely visible through the curtain of rain. The man stops at the edge of the alley, pulling out a cigarette, lighting it with a flick of his lighter. His face, now illuminated in the glow, is a mask of exhaustion and determination. He doesn't seem to care that the world around him is drowning in water. His gaze fixed on something only he can see. And then you hear it, a voice, soft and distant, as though it's coming from inside your mind. You think you're the only one looking for answers. You snap your head back, the words ringing in your ears, but you don't see anyone. The man doesn't react, too focused on the cigarette between his lips. You swallow hard, trying to push the unease away, but it's too late. That voice is lodged in your head now, and for a fleeting moment, you wonder if it's even real. The man flicks the cigarette away, his eyes scanning the alley, as though he knows he's being watched. You step back, retreating into the shadows, but you can still hear him. His movements slow, deliberate. The sound of footsteps approaching catches your attention. Another figure emerges from the rain, their face obscured by the darkness. The tall man's posture stiffens, and he turns to face the newcomer. A woman. She steps closer, her silhouette blending with the night. The man hesitates, his eyes narrowing as she approaches. You're too far to hear their conversation, but you can see their body language tense, guarded. Whatever they're discussing, it's serious. It's more than just the murder. It's something deeper, darker. You move closer, the rain almost drowning out the quiet exchange. You can't make out their words, but you can feel the tension rising, thick and suffocating. And then the woman says something that makes the man freeze. I know you didn't do it, but I know who did. The words hit you like a slap in the face, and for a second, you don't know if you're breathing. You hold your position, just barely in the shadows, as the man's face hardens, his hands ball into fists, his shoulders tense. He doesn't speak for a moment, but his expression betrays him. The woman steps closer, lowering her voice so only he can hear, but you can feel the weight of it, the power in the words. She's offering something he clearly doesn't want. Tell me what you know, she says, her voice barely audible over the sound of the rain, and I'll make sure you walk away from this clean. But if you don't, things will get worse. The man takes a deep breath, his jaw clenching, and for a moment you think he might refuse. But instead, he nods, a small, almost imperceptible gesture. But enough. She pulls something from her pocket, a small folded paper, and hands it to him. The man doesn't look at it immediately, but his fingers wrap around it, and he stashes it in his coat. Then, with one last glance, he turns and walks away, disappearing into the rain. You wait for a few moments before stepping into the alley, your heart racing. That conversation wasn't about the body. It was about something else, something you weren't meant to hear. But now that you have, there's no going back. You move toward the spot where the man stood, your fingers brushing the wet pavement as you crouch down. The woman's scent lingers in the air, a sharp, almost metallic fragrance. And on the ground, just next to where she stood, is a small, discarded object. A photograph. You pick it up, your hands trembling, and examine it. The image is blurry, the face is unclear. But there's one thing that stands out. The woman from the alley is in it, but she's not alone. There's another person standing beside her, their face partially obscured by shadows. Their body language is tense, their posture defensive. Whoever they are, they're important. And whatever secret they are hiding is at the heart of this case. You can't shake the feeling that this is just the beginning. The voice echoes in your mind again. You think you're the only one looking for answers, but now you know you're not. The photograph. The photograph is heavy in your hand, its edges damp from the rain that's begun to fall harder, turning the once gentle patter into a steady rhythm that echoes in the alley. The faces in the photo are blurred, indistinct, but you can feel the weight of its significance. It's not just a snapshot. It's a piece of something you weren't supposed to see. The woman's face is the only clear part of the photo. Her features sharp, determined, but there's something more, something hidden in her gaze. It's as if she knows something that you don't, and for a fleeting moment, you wonder if she's playing her own game, or maybe she's just caught in someone else's. You can't tear your eyes away from the photograph, the man standing next to her, is familiar in a way that unsettles you. You can't place him, but you know him. His stance, his posture, it reminds you of someone, but the image in front of you is too blurry to make out the details. Still, the feeling doesn't go away. He's important. He's connected to this case. The alley is silent once more. The sounds of rain, now the only company. You stand there, the cold creeping into your bones, your fingers tightly gripping the photograph. There's something inside you urging you to leave, to let it go. But the pull of this mystery is too strong. You can't walk away, not yet. Your breath catches as you hear footsteps. Again, the woman is back. She emerges from the shadows, her eyes scanning the alley before they lock onto you. There's no surprise, no hesitation. She's known you've been here the whole time. She doesn't speak right away, but you can feel her presence, the intensity of her gaze. She's calculating, assessing, just like she always is. You're not the only one with questions, but you're the one she wants to answer. You found it, she says, her voice low, almost a whisper over the rain. There's no question in her tone, just a statement of fact. She knows what you've uncovered, and somehow she's not afraid of it. You look down at the photograph again, your fingers tightening around it. Who is he? The words slip from your lips before you can stop them, and you can see her reaction shift. Just for a moment, something flickers behind her eyes, a crack in the armor she's so carefully built. You know him, she says, her voice more controlled now, but still edged with something you can't quite place. You just don't remember him yet. The answer doesn't satisfy you, but before you can ask again, she steps closer. The question isn't who he is. The question is why you're still chasing this. You freeze, the weight of her words settling in like a stone in your stomach. Why are you chasing this? Why are you standing here in the rain with a photograph of a man you can't even identify? Why does it feel like your life is tied to this case? Like there's no way out, no turning back? You know more than you're letting on, you say, your voice harder than you expected. There's something about her calm demeanor, her control, that unsettles you. She's not just an ally or an enemy. She's something far more dangerous. Do I? She asks, her lips curving into a smile, the faintest trace of mockery in it. But it's the eyes that give her away, eyes that hold a secret too dark to share. You try to shake the sense of unease that's creeping in, but it lingers, like a shadow that's following your every move. She knows more. She's always known more. And now, you can't help but feel that you're part of a game you didn't choose to play. She takes a step closer, her eyes never leaving yours. You're so close now. You can smell the faint scent of her perfume mixing with the rain. Her hand reaches for the photograph in your grip, and without thinking, you pull it back slightly. It's almost instinctual now, the feeling that this is yours, that whatever is inside that photo is something you're meant to unlock. She doesn't force it. Instead, she watches you, waiting and waiting for you to crack. Do you know what you're really chasing? She asks, her voice soft, almost coaxing. The truth. You don't answer. You don't even know if you can. The photograph burns in your hand, and the feeling that you're missing something important gnaws at you, like a hunger you can't silence. The faces in the photo don't add up, but the woman's words do. This isn't just about a body. It's not just about the man who's been killed. It's about everything that came before. The lies, the betrayal, the dark secrets you've been too blind to see. You turn away from her for just a moment, your mind spinning. You need answers, but the way the pieces are falling into place, you're not sure if you'll like the one you uncover next. She watches you, standing still in the rain, the shadows from the alley stretching across the ground at her feet. She's patient, too patient, and you realize something: you're no longer the one asking the questions. You'll find the answers soon enough, she says, her voice almost too calm for comfort. But remember, this nothing stays buried forever, and what's hidden in the dark has a way of coming to light. You look down at the photograph once more, feeling the weight of her words sink in. The truth isn't something you can chase anymore. It's something that's been chasing you all along. A broken clock. The rain is starting to thin, but the oppressive feeling in the air only deepens. You stand in the alley, the photograph still clenched in your hand, as the woman vanishes into the darkness, leaving you with more questions than answers. Her cryptic warning hangs in the air, and the weight of her words presses on you. Nothing stays buried forever. You can feel the truth beginning to seep in. The edges of the case finally starting to take shape, but the outline is still too blurred, too fragmented. The pieces don't fit, and the questions keep mounting. Who is the man in the photograph? Why was he killed? You turn your focus back to the scene, the body, the officers milling around, their voices distant and muffled by the rain. It all feels distant now. You've crossed a line. You can't go back to being just a bystander. You're tangled in this, whether you want to be or not. The streetlights flicker again, casting brief shadows across the rain-slicked pavement. Your eyes scan the ground for any sign, any clue that you missed the first time. Then, a faint glint catches your eye. Beneath the corner of a dumpster, nearly hidden in the shadows, there's something metallic. You approach cautiously, your fingers trembling as you reach down to grab it. It's a watch, a broken wristwatch. The glass is cracked, the hands frozen at exactly 3:15. The sight of it sends a jolt through you, another clue, another piece to the puzzle. The watch looks like it's been here for a while. The edges are scuffed, the metal weathered, but it wasn't discarded carelessly. Whoever left it here made sure it was hidden, tucked just out of sight. You flip it over, hoping for a serial number, an engraving, something that could tell you where it came from. But it's plain. No markings, no identifiers, just a broken piece of someone's past. But why leave it behind? Why this? You slip the watch into your pocket, the weight of it pressing against you like the case itself. Another mystery to unravel. You glance around, but the alley remains quiet. The sounds of the city muffled by the rain, the body, the photograph, the watch, it's all connected. You can feel it, but you don't know how. You turn to leave the alley, your steps quickening, driven by the gnawing sense of urgency that started to eat away at you. You need answers. You need to put the pieces together before they slip away again, like everything else in this case. But as you approach the end of the alley, something catches your eye. A figure standing in the shadows. You freeze, your pulse spiking. The figure doesn't move, doesn't make a sound, just watches you from the darkness. For a moment, your heart stops. You wonder if it's one of the officers, one of the others investigating the scene. But then you remember, this isn't their investigation anymore. This is yours. The figure takes a step forward, slowly, deliberately, and you can see them now. A man, tall, his face hidden beneath the brim of a dark hat. His clothing is simple, but there's something about him that makes your instincts flare. A primal, unshakable feeling that tells you this man isn't just a bystander. You don't move. You wait for him to speak, for him to make the first move. He doesn't disappoint. You're looking in the wrong place, he says, his voice gravelly and low, as if he's been awake for days, and he's not ready to speak to anyone just yet. You take a step back, a slight chill running down your spine. What does he know? Who are you, you ask, your voice betraying your uncertainty. The question comes out harsher than you meant, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't flinch. I know what you're chasing, he replies, his eyes never leaving yours. And I know it's more than just the body, but you won't find the answers until you stop running. You narrow your eyes at him. The rain beats against your skin, but you're not sure if it's from the cold or the adrenaline. You don't trust him. Something about him feels wrong, like he's just a part of the game. But then you remember the photograph, the key, the watch. You've been running in circles, chasing ghosts. And this man could be the one who has the answers. Who are you? You repeat, taking a step forward, your breath shallow. He smiles, but it's not a friendly smile. It's a knowing smile, like he's in on a joke you've yet to understand. I'm the one who's been waiting for you, he says, his voice cold and calm. You think you're the one investigating, but you're the one being investigated. His words hit you harder than you expect, and for a moment you feel the floor shift beneath your feet. Am I the suspect? You open your mouth to respond, but he's already stepping back into the shadows, disappearing into the dark alley, leaving you with nothing but his words and the uncomfortable feeling that maybe he's right. But you can't stop now. You can't stop chasing this. There's something deeper here, something dark, and you can feel the truth just beyond your reach. You'll find it, eventually. But for now, the only thing you have is the rain, the body, and the broken watch. The only thing you have is this mystery and the fear that you're already too deep into it to turn back. The missing glove. The night stretches before you, dark and thick with unanswered questions. The rain has slowed to a drizzle, but it still lingers in the air, cold and oppressive. Your breath comes in shallow, uneven gasps as you walk, each step feeling heavier than the last. The body has been taken. The photograph is tucked safely in your coat. The watch is still weighing down your pocket, but it's the words of the man that won't leave you. You're the one being investigated. The chill of his voice lingers, sinking into your bones, and you can't help but wonder if it's true. Maybe you've been looking at this case from the wrong angle. Maybe it's you that's being watched. Maybe it always has been. You don't like the thought of it, but you can't shake the feeling that you've become part of the very thing you're trying to solve. You've crossed a line, and now there's no turning back. You're too deep into this, and something tells you it's not going to end until you find out why. The streets are quieter now, the rush of rainwater flowing in the gutters, the occasional car passing by, headlights illuminating the fog that clings to the city like a ghost. You don't feel the cold, though. The numbness from the case has settled deep inside you, and nothing seems to matter but one thing: finding out the truth. As you round the corner, you see something strange in the distance, something out of place. A glove lying on the curb. It's a black leather glove, pristine except for the dark streaks of mud along its edge. It's not the kind of thing someone would leave behind. You stop, taking a cautious step toward it. The glove doesn't look like it belongs to anyone at the scene, but it feels connected to something, someone. You bend down to pick it up, your fingers brushing against the smooth, cool leather. The weight of it in your hand feels significant. The moment your fingers touch the glove, you hear the sound of footsteps approaching from behind you. You don't have to turn around to know someone's there. The air grows colder, and a sense of urgency wraps itself around your chest. The footsteps stop just behind you, the air still. You know better than to wait for a voice this time. You don't need to hear anything. You know what's coming. You grip the glove tighter, but before you can move, a hand falls lightly on your shoulder. You freeze, your pulse pounding in your ears. I see you're still chasing, the voice says, calm and smooth, just like before. You turn slowly, meeting the same eyes from before the man in the alley, the one who left you with more questions than answers. His face is shadowed in the dim light, but his gaze is sharp, cutting through the fog between you. You shouldn't be here, you say, your voice firmer this time, but you know it's just a feeble attempt to hold control. He smiles again, that same knowing smile. He's seen you at your weakest, and he knows it. Whoever did this, he says softly, has been watching you. You're not just part of the investigation, you're part of the story. You feel a sharp bang in your chest, a cold fear settling deep. You don't understand what he means, but it's starting to feel like it doesn't matter. You've been part of something much bigger than you realized. You think it's the body that matters. His tone is mocking now, like he's explaining something simple to a child. The body's just a message. It's what's hidden behind it that you need to worry about. You've been playing a game without realizing the rules. The glove is still in your hand. Its weight now a constant reminder of everything you've missed. A message. What could this glove possibly mean? It's just one more clue in a puzzle you don't know how to solve. The key's been right in front of you all along. He continues, his voice low and calm, as though he's repeating a lesson you should have learned by now. But you're not seeing it yet. You're still too focused on the wrong thing. You blink, trying to shake the fog in your head, but it doesn't go away. The feeling of being watched, the feeling of being tangled in this mess, you can't ignore it anymore. What's behind it, you ask, your voice hoarse, barely above a whisper. You know it's a risk, but it's the only question you can ask now. The man doesn't answer immediately. Instead, he leans in slightly, his eyes never leaving yours. Whoever killed him, they wanted to make sure you saw. They wanted you to know that you're connected to this. You feel the grip on the glove tighten as your mind races. You're connected to this. The words are simple, but they cut through everything you've been ignoring. You don't know who the victim is, but the man is right. This isn't just about solving a case. This is about finding something, someone who is tied to you. A piece of you is missing, and you've only just realized it. You take a step back, the tension in your chest growing heavier. What do you want from me? The man watches you for a moment longer, a flicker of something behind his eyes before he gives a slight shrug. Nothing. Just make sure you're paying attention. You won't get far if you're blind to the truth. With that, he turns and disappears into the night, leaving you standing in the cold, holding the glove. The city feels different now, as though it's holding its breath, waiting for you to take the next step. But there's no turning back. The gloves, the bodies, the photo, all of it is connected. And the more you try to unravel the truth, the more you realize the answer has been staring you in the face all along. You just didn't know how to see it. The silent partner. The glove is still in your hand, its leather cool against your fingers, but it's no longer a simple piece of clothing. It's a symbol now, a reminder that someone is always watching, always just out of sight, pulling the strings behind the scenes. The man's words echo in your mind. You're part of the story. You stand there for a moment, rain dripping off your coat, the shadows of the alley stretching before you. Your heart is pounding in your chest with core, and for the first time in a long while, you feel like you're in over your head. The body, the photograph, the man you've been running towards answers without realizing that the more you uncover, the deeper the hole gets. You need to make sense of it all. You need to find the connection, and that's when it hits you, the missing piece, the one thing you haven't considered. Who's been pulling the strings this entire time? You pocket the glove and turn back toward the street, your mind racing. The body found in the alley was just the beginning, and every step you've taken since has only tangled you further in this web. The man's warning, the photograph, the key, they're all pieces of a much bigger picture, and you're just scratching the surface. The city feels different now, colder, darker. You can't shake the feeling that you're being watched, the sense of being hunted, not the hunter. The weight of the night presses down, suffocating you with every step. You wonder how long it's been like this, how long you've been unaware of the eyes on you. The silence of the street makes it feel even worse. The rain falls softly now, but the air is thick with something unspoken, a tension you can't quite place. You glance over your shoulder, half expecting someone to be following you, but the street is empty. You pull your coat tighter, determined to push forward. The first thing you need to do is find out who the man in the photograph is, who he was to the woman in the alley. But more importantly, you need to understand what's really happening here. It doesn't take long for you to find the connection, and when you do, it feels like the ground beneath you has shifted. The man in the photograph is connected to someone from your past, a partner you thought had disappeared, someone you've been avoiding for years. The realization hits you hard. This isn't just a case of a murder, it's personal. The partner, the one who's been absent for so long, is tied to everything: the body, the photograph, the clues you've been collecting. You've been chasing a shadow of your past without realizing it. Your fingers tighten around the collar of your coat as you make your way to the address you've just uncovered. The cold doesn't bother you anymore. All you can think about is the next step. The address leads you to a building on the edge of the city, a rundown place that's seen better days. The windows are dark, the doors locked up tight. But you know something. You've been here before. This was once home to the partner you lost. You walk up the steps, your boots making no sound on the slick pavement, and you stop at the door. There's no sign of life, no lights, no movement, but you feel the weight of something inside, a presence, a memory you've been trying to forget. You knock once, twice, then listen. The silence is thick, almost suffocating. But then you hear it a shuffle from inside, and a voice you recognize. You've been looking for me. Your heart stops. The door creaks open, and there he is, your partner, the one you thought had vanished from your life, the one who's been hiding in plain sight all along. He's older, more worn, but his eyes are the same. You breathe, barely able to get the word out. "I told you," he says, stepping aside to let you in. "You've been part of this from the start. You've just been too blind to see it." You step into the room, your mind racing. There's no going back now. The game is changing. You've been a player, but now you're beginning to understand who the real puppeteer is. And it's not who you thought. The walls of the room are covered in pictures, photographs of places, people, events, each one connected by red string, a spider's web of links that seems to stretch out of control. But at the center of it all is the body, the murder, and you. "I've been waiting for you to come to the right conclusion," your partner says, his voice low and filled with something you can't quite place. You didn't realize it, but you've been chasing your own shadow. The body, the key, the glove, it's all been leading you here. You look at the pictures, the web that's been created around you, and the realization strikes you harder than a punch to the gut. You've been a part of this all along. Every move, every clue, it was all orchestrated by someone you thought you left behind. And now, you're at the center of it all. The the silent partner, the one who's been pulling the strings, waiting for you to figure it out. Welcome back, he says, his smile cold, but filled with something darker. You found me. Now, let's see if you can live with what you've uncovered. The message. The door clicks shut behind you, the sound almost too loud in the quiet room. The air feels heavier now, thick with the weight of everything you've just learned, everything you've just realized. Your partner, your old partner, is standing in front of you, and the truth begins to settle in like a stone lodged deep inside your chest. The photographs, the web of connections, they were all leading to this moment. But this moment doesn't feel like the end. It feels like the beginning of something darker, something you didn't want to confront. You can feel the weight of the question pressing against your mind. Why? Why now? Why me? Your partner watches you, his gaze calm but unsettling. He knows you're trying to make sense of it all, trying to piece the puzzle together. But he's not offering you any answers. Not yet. You're still thinking, he says softly, almost mockingly, his voice smooth, calculated, but you already know the answer. You just don't want to admit it. You want to shout, to demand answers, but you can't. Your mind is racing, trying to put everything together. The body, the key, the glove, the photograph, it's all been laid out for you. But you're missing something. There's one part of this puzzle you haven't figured out yet. Your eyes flick back to the web of photos covering the walls. The connections are all there, plain to see. But the one thing that sticks out, the one thing that makes everything make sense, is the victim. You know who he is now? The man in the photograph, the one who's been haunting you, is the same man who's lying dead on the pavement. The realization crashes into you like a wave. You know him. You've seen him before. But it wasn't supposed to be like this. You look at your partner, the person who's been pulling the strings, the person who's been manipulating this whole situation. His eyes flicker, as if he's watching you unravel the truth in real time. And then he speaks again, his tone calm, almost pleasant. You've been asking the wrong questions, you know. The real question isn't who killed him. It's why. Why now? Why you? You take a step toward him, your heart hammering in your chest. Why me? You repeat, the words tasting like acid in your mouth. What the hell is going on here? You knew him? You knew about the murder? So why not tell me everything from the start? Your partner shrugs, a nonchalant gesture that only makes you feel more unsettled, because you needed to find your way here. You needed to follow the clues. You needed to see the connections before you could understand the message. A knot tightens in your stomach. The message. You take a deep breath, but it doesn't help. You know what he's saying. He's been guiding you all along, but not to solve the murder, not to bring justice. You've been part of a bigger game, a game where the truth was always going to be elusive. You're here because you needed to learn something, he continues, his voice colder now. You needed to see what happens when you chase the wrong answers. You needed to see that nothing is as simple as it seems. You step back, your mind spinning with the implications. What have you been chasing this whole time? A murder? Or something far worse? Who was he, you demand? Your voice sharp, desperate for any scrap of the truth. You need it. You need to know who he was and why he's been tied to this. Your partner doesn't answer right away. Instead, he moves closer to you, and for the first time, you see the cracks in his demeanor. His eyes are darker now, full of something you can't place. Regret, fear. Something is slipping. Something he doesn't want you to see. He trails off, his gaze flicking to the photographs on the wall. He was someone who could have stopped this, but he didn't. You frown, confused. The puzzle pieces still not fitting together. Could have stopped what? What do you mean? He doesn't answer. Instead, turning his attention to the small desk in the corner. It's cluttered with papers, photographs, and old files. He pulls out a small envelope, its edges worn, and slides it across the table to you. Open it, he says simply. You hesitate, the envelope feeling heavier than it should in your hand. Slowly, you rip it open, your heart pounding in your chest. Inside is a single sheet of paper, its edges frayed, as though it's been handled many times. You unfold it, your fingers shaking, and read the note written in tight, hurried handwriting. Don't trust anyone, not even yourself. You feel the floor shift beneath you as the words settle in your mind. It's a warning, a confession, a message you were never meant to find. The voice in your head, the one that's been following you, wasn't wrong. The truth is something much darker than you imagined. You look up at your partner, but he's already looking at you, his expression unreadable. You've made it this far. Now you understand why I had to do this, why I couldn't tell you everything from the start. The room feels smaller now, the walls pressing in around you. You take a step back, clutching the note tightly in your hand. The message has been delivered, and you can't ignore it anymore. The truth is far more dangerous than you could have imagined. The dark past, the rain begins to fade as the last echoes of thunder rumble in the distance, leaving behind a thick mist that clings to the ground like a shroud. The room feels colder now, the silence pressing in around you as you stand there, holding the cryptic note. The words, "Don't trust anyone, not even yourself," replay in your mind like a broken record, each pass making your skin prickle with a growing sense of unease. You glance at your partner, still standing at the table, his back to you, his posture rigid, like he's bracing for something. His words from earlier replay in your mind. You're part of the story, but you're beginning to realize that you were never just an observer. You've been playing a role, and that role is darker than you ever expected. What do you mean by this, you finally ask, your voice shaky with the weight of your own growing paranoia. He doesn't answer at first, his back still turned to you. The quiet is suffocating, thick with unspoken words, and for a moment, you wonder if he's even going to speak. But then, he finally moves, slowly, turning to face you with something like resignation in his eyes. "You don't want to know the truth," he says softly, his voice almost too calm for comfort. "Not yet." You take a step forward, your heart pounding. You can't stop now. You've already come too far. And whatever this game is, you're too deep into it to back out now. "I need to know," you say, your voice firm. "What's really going on here? Who is that man? Who are we really chasing?" His eyes darken, the look of someone who's seen too much, someone who knows the cost of secrets and the price of silence. It's not just about the man, or the body, or the mystery anymore. It never was. It's about everything you've been running from, everything you've tried to forget. The truth isn't what you think it is. It never was. The tension in the room becomes almost unbearable, and for the first time, you realize just how deeply you've been entangled in something much darker than you could have ever imagined. Your partner's words are like pieces of glass, sharp and dangerous, but they don't cut through the fog in your mind. Instead, they seem to wrap themselves around you like chains, pulling you into something you can't quite comprehend. He takes a deep breath, his eyes hardening as if he's bracing himself for something. "You want the truth? Fine." He walks over to the desk and pulls out another folder, this one thicker than the last, and places it in front of you. The papers inside are well worn, as if they've been read and reread, until the edges are frayed, the ink smudged in places. You hesitate for a moment, but then you open it. The first photograph that hits you is of a young man, barely older than a teenager, standing in front of what looks like an old, decaying building. His face is familiar, too familiar, but it's not the face you recognize. It's the man from the photograph, the one who's been haunting you, but younger, and with a look of fear in his eyes that sends a chill down your spine. You flip through the pages, each one more disturbing than the last. The man in the photograph is the same person who died on the pavement, but there's something else, something hidden beneath the surface. The next page is a set of handwritten notes, hurriedly scrawled, but the words are clear. Don't trust the story. He didn't just die, he was meant to die. Your fingers tremble as you turn to the next page, but this one stops you cold. A set of names, none of which are familiar to you, and beside each one, an X. Beside the last name, your own name is written. You pull back from the folder, your breath catching in your throat. Why is your name here? You try to process it, but your mind can't make sense of it. You've been chasing a killer, thinking you were the one investigating, but now you realize you've been a part of this all along. Why is my name here, you ask, barely able to form the words. The fear in your voice surprises you, and you hate it. You shouldn't be afraid. Not now. Not after everything you've uncovered. But this feels different. Your partner steps closer, his eyes narrowing as he sees the realization dawning on you. Because you were meant to find the truth. You were always part of the plan, but you were never meant to understand it all. You weren't supposed to remember. The words crash into you like a tidal wave, and for the first time, everything clicks. The body, the photographs, the gloves, the messages. It was never about the murder. It was about something darker, something buried and deep in your past, something you can't remember. You take a step back, the weight of the folder in your hand, suddenly too heavy to hold. You've been using me, you say, your voice shaking. I've been a pawn in your game. But why? What do you want from me? Your partner doesn't answer at first. Instead, he takes the folder from your hands and sets it back on the desk. You were always meant to find this, he says quietly, his voice tinged with something else now, something you can't quite place. But the truth isn't something you can run from. Not anymore. You can feel your heart race, the final pieces of the puzzle slipping into place. And with each one, the weight on your shoulders grows heavier. The truth is slipping through your fingers, and no matter how hard you try to grasp it, it's always just out of reach. But one thing is clear now. You've been part of this from the very beginning. The question is, what happens now? The other body. The room is suffocating now. The air thick with unspoken words and secrets that swirl around you like a storm. You look at your partner, his figure outlined by the dim, flickering light overhead. But for the first time, you can't bring yourself to trust him. His calm exterior, his cryptic words, they've all been lies, a facade to keep you moving, keep you searching. But you've never been closer to the truth than you are right now. The photographs, the key, the body, it's all tied together. And as much as you've tried to deny it, you know now that you've been searching for the wrong answers. The body in the alley, the one that started it all, isn't the end. It's just the beginning. You feel the weight of the folder in your hands, but there's something else. A nagging feeling in the back of your mind, one that you can't ignore anymore. The words from the cryptic note, the ones that don't trust anyone, not even yourself, are louder now, haunting your thoughts with each breath you take. You try to push it out of your mind, but the silence in the room is deafening. Your partner watches you, the tension in the air thick enough to slice through. It's almost as though he's waiting for you to make the next move, to connect the final dots, but you don't know if you're ready. What are you not telling me, you ask, your voice breaking the silence. Sharper now. He doesn't answer at first, his expression unreadable, but then he nods, almost imperceptibly. There's another body. The words hit you like a punch to the gut. The floor seems to shift beneath you, and for a moment, everything blurs around the edges. Another body. You're lying, you whisper, more to yourself than to him, but you know it's true. You feel the weight of his words sink in like a lead anchor. Another body. How could that be? He steps closer, his eyes cold now, but they hold something else, something you can't name. It's true. You weren't meant to know this, but you're too deep into it now. This isn't just a murder, and it's not just about him. There's more at stake here. Your mind races as you try to digest what he's saying. Another body. That's the last thing you need right now. But as much as you want to turn away, to walk out of this room and forget it all, you know you can't. Not anymore. Where is it, you ask? Your voice steadier now, though the unease inside you is still growing, twisting in your chest like a poison. He doesn't answer right away, but his gaze flickers to the door behind you. For a moment, you think he's going to tell you to leave, to walk away, but instead, he says something you weren't expecting. The other body is in the same place, hidden. It's not what you think. You feel the blood drain from your face. What do you mean? It's not what you think. Everything you've been chasing has led you to these two bodies. It can't be a coincidence. There's more to this than you're seeing. Without another word, your partner turns and walks over to a hidden cabinet in the corner of the room. He opens it slowly, as if he's giving you time to process everything he said. You can't look away as he pulls out a thick manila folder, its edges worn from time. He slides it across the table toward you. Open it, he says, his tone almost casual, but there's something in his eyes that makes you hesitate. You take the folder, your fingers trembling slightly as you open it. Inside is a set of photographs, a few documents and a map. The first photograph you see is a familiar one, the first body, the one found in the alley. But the second photograph makes your stomach twist. It's the same location, but the body isn't the one you saw before. This one is different, bloodied, bruised, but still recognizable. The face is mangled, and the body lies in an even more contorted position. There's no doubt about it. This is another victim, the one you've been missing all along. You flip through the rest of the documents, your hands moving almost mechanically now, and the map hits you next. The locations marked on it are all around the city, connected by red lines, like a spider's web. And then you realize the locations are all tied to places you've been, places you thought were unrelated. The alley, the old warehouse near the docks, the abandoned factory on the outskirts of town. It's all connected. But why? The truth feels like it's slipping further from your reach even as it becomes clearer. These bodies, these crimes, they aren't isolated. They're part of something bigger, something that's been waiting for you to see it. Who did this, you ask, your voice barely a whisper. Your partner's eyes flicker again, but he doesn't answer. Instead, he walks to the door and opens it slowly, his gaze never leaving you. You've been part of this story longer than you realize. You're too close now, and I can't protect you anymore. You stand there, the folder in your hands, the weight of everything you've uncovered pressing down on you. The second body, the locations, the connections. It's all a part of a game you don't fully understand. But you know one thing for sure. You can't stop now. You don't have a choice. The question isn't who did it, it's why they did it. And you're about to find out. The hidden room. The door closes behind you, but the weight of the room doesn't lighten. You stand still, holding the manila folder, your mind racing, trying to make sense of the madness that's been unfolding. You've uncovered so many pieces, but they don't fit together yet. The photographs, the map, the second body, all of it feels like a puzzle with far too many missing pieces. You can feel your pulse in your throat, the tightness in your chest refusing to let up. Everything feels urgent now, like time is slipping through your fingers, and the more you try to grasp it, the more it evades you. You know the second body is crucial, but why hasn't anyone else connected the dots? Why has this case been treated like an isolated incident when it clearly isn't? The map in your hands trembles as you trace the red lines with your finger, the marked locations, the ones that seem scattered throughout the city. Don't make any sense unless you understand the bigger picture, but you can't see it yet. You need more. The sound of footsteps behind you makes you freeze. The door to the office creaks open and you spin around, your hand instinctively reaching for your coat pocket, where the key and the photograph still sit, waiting. It's him again, your partner. His eyes are narrow, unreadable, and he doesn't look surprised to see you still standing there, caught between the mess of paperwork and photographs. He doesn't speak at first, just stares at you with that same look, like he's waiting for you to finally make the leap. The room, he says suddenly, as though the words have been waiting to escape. It's not in the house. You blink, confused. What room? His gaze flickers toward the map on the table. The hidden room. It's the key. Everything connects there. You don't know what he means at first. What hidden room, you ask again, your voice rising. You can feel the panic rising in your chest, the urgency of the moment pushing against you. You need to understand. You need to know what's going on. But he's not giving you anything solid to work with. He steps forward, his expression now grim. It's not in the house you're thinking of. It's somewhere else. Somewhere you haven't looked yet. What do you mean, you ask? Frustration building. Where is it? He glances at the folder, then back at you. You know the places we've talked about. The alley, the docks, the factory. There's one more location. The room is there, but you won't find it unless you know what you're looking for. The words hit you like a punch to the gut. The room. The one thing that's been hidden from you all this time. The one thing that could explain everything: the body, the second murder, the map, the strange messages. It's all been leading to this hidden room, this place where the answers are buried. You feel a wave of dread wash over you. Where is it? You repeat, your voice quieter now, more controlled. He hesitates, his gaze flicking to the table again, to the map you've been studying. It's not on the map. It's hidden in plain sight. It's always been right there. The room seems to tilt for a moment, the weight of his words crashing into you like a wave. You're standing at the edge of something you can't see clearly yet, and you don't know if you're ready to plunge into the unknown. But you don't have a choice. You have to go to the room. You have to find it. I'll show you, your partner says, his voice softer now, almost weary. But you need to understand something first. The room, it's not just a place. It's a trap. A trap for people like you. You stare at him, trying to understand. A trap. How is this any different from everything else you've been through? People like me, you ask, your voice trembling with the weight of the question. He sighs, rubbing his hand over his face, as if the words are hard for him to say. You've been part of this all along. You're not just the one searching for answers. You've always been part of the story. His words echo in your mind, and you realize with a sickening clarity what he's implying. You've been a pawn, You've been manipulated into playing this game without realizing it. Every step, every clue, it's all been carefully designed. You weren't meant to be an investigator. You were meant to be part of something much darker. And now, it's too late to turn back. You can't just walk into that room without understanding the cost, he continues, his voice low and full of regret. Whatever you find in there, it changes things. It changes everything. You step forward, your resolve hardening, and with a force you didn't know you had. You say, I don't care about the cost anymore. I need to know. I need to understand. He nods slowly, then motions for you to follow him. Then let's go. You don't hesitate. You can feel the final piece of the puzzle slipping into place, and you know that whatever happens next, there's no going back. The game has changed. The trap has been set, and now you're walking straight into it. The phone call. The silence in the room is deafening as your partner leads you down the narrow hall, the shadows creeping behind you like something that wants to catch up. You follow him without a word, your mind racing, your pulse quickening. Every step you take feels like a step closer to the truth, but it's not a truth you feel ready for. You think of the room, the hidden one, the one you've been chasing. You can feel it, just beyond your reach. The darkness, the web, it's all tangled around you now. Every piece of the puzzle is set. You have no choice but to move forward. As you round the corner, your phone vibrates in your pocket. It's a sharp, sudden noise, and it makes you flinch. You pull it out, glancing at the screen, but your heart drops when you see the caller ID. It's an unknown number. You glance at your partner, who doesn't seem to notice. His focus is on the door ahead of you, the place you've been drawn to. But you can't ignore the phone ringing in your hand. The unease in your chest grows. You answer it, your thumb brushing the screen, but you don't speak right away. You listen. The voice on the other end is familiar, but it takes a moment for you to recognize it through the static and crackling lines. I've been waiting for you to pick up, the voice says, cold, low, like a whisper from the shadows. It sends a shiver down your spine. Who is this, you ask, your voice rough, as though the air itself is suffocating you. You don't remember me, do you? The voice continues, and this time it's sharper, more deliberate, but I remember you. I've been watching you, following your every move. The words strike you like a punch, and your breath catches in your throat. Your eyes flicker nervously to your partner, but he doesn't seem to notice. He's too focused on the door ahead, too focused on whatever comes next. Who are you? You ask again, more urgent this time, but the voice on the phone doesn't answer. You're closer now, the voice says, the words chilling in their simplicity, closer to understanding what's been hidden from you all along. But you're too late. The truth will find you before you can find it. And when it does, it'll be too much to bear. You can't stop the cold dread that spreads through you. The voice knows too much. It knows about the hidden room, about the photographs, about everything you've been running toward. But there's more. There's always more. You've been looking for answers, the voice continues, almost smug now. But you've been looking in the wrong places. The room, the bodies, they're just distractions. The real answer is something you've always known. Deep down, you've always known who the killer is. You've just never wanted to face it. Your breath catches in your chest, and the weight of those words presses in on you, suffocating you. Who is the killer? The question twists in your mind like a knife, but you can't bring yourself to speak. The voice on the phone continues, its words sinking deeper, burrowing into your thoughts. You've always been part of this, the voice whispers. Each word like a slow drip of poison. You've always known the truth. The only question left is, are you strong enough to face it? The line goes dead. The click of the disconnect so final, so abrupt, that it sends your heart racing. You look at the phone in your hand, your fingers trembling as you lower it, but your mind is already elsewhere. You're not just a player in this, you're the key. The answer is within you, buried deep inside your past, but you don't want to remember it. You've been running from it for so long. The room, the bodies, the photographs, they're all connected, all leading you back to something you've been desperately trying to forget. Are you okay? Your partner asks, his voice pulling you back to the present. You didn't realize he was so close, standing just behind you now, his gaze intense, expectant. You don't respond at first, your mind too tangled in the words of the caller, in the realization that you're more tangled in this case than you ever wanted to be. But you can't ignore it. Not now. Not when everything is so close. I'm fine, you say, your voice steady despite the chaos in your chest. Let's go. You turn to face him, and without another word, the two of you walk to the door. He reaches for the handle, but as his hand touches the doorknob, you stop. There's something in the air, something that has shifted in this room. You feel it now, deep in your gut. It's like you've crossed a line, one that can't be uncrossed. The door creaks open slowly, the sound almost too loud in the quiet. You step through, into the room that's been hidden from you for so long. The space is small, but the walls are lined with shelves, filled with boxes, files, and other strange items. And there, in the center of it all, you see it. The thing that's been waiting for you to find it. A desk. A simple desk. But the papers on it, they're yours. Your name is written on them. Your handwriting. You feel the blood drain from your face as you step closer. The truth is staring back at you. It's you. The confession. The room is silent except for the soft hum of the city outside. The faint sound of distant traffic creeping in through the windows. You stare at the desk, the papers with your name on them, your handwriting staring back at you. For a moment, time stops. Your heart pounds, each beat feeling louder in the emptiness of the room. This is it. This is the moment when the truth will finally reveal itself. But as you step closer to the desk, the weight of your past presses against you, heavier than ever before. You never expected this. You thought you were looking for someone else's secrets, someone else's lies. But now, it's clear. The lies, the secrets, they're yours. You take a deep breath, reaching for the papers. The first sheet is a journal entry. Your own words, written in a frantic scrawl that mirrors the way your mind feels right now. They can't know. They won't understand. But I have to keep going. There's too much at stake. The words are like a slap in the face. You wrote these, but you don't remember writing them. You don't remember this. The confusion, the dread, it's all returning now, flooding your mind like a storm you can't outrun. You turn to the next page, and there it is again, your handwriting, your thoughts. But this time, it's more than just words. It's a confession. I did it. I didn't mean to, but I did. And now, there's no going back. Your breath catches in your throat. You did it. The words blur in your vision, but you can't look away. You can't stop reading. Each sentence pulls you deeper into the web of your own lies. What did you do? What happened before you can process it? You hear a voice behind you, so close, you could feel the heat of it on your skin. You're not the only one who's been lying. Your partner says, his voice low and steady, but there's a sharpness to it that makes you freeze. But you knew. You always knew. You turned to face him, the blood draining from your face. What are you talking about? What is all this? Your voice shakes, the tremor betraying the panic rising inside you. He steps closer, his eyes fixed on yours. The look in his eyes is unreadable, but there's a flicker of something dark there, something you don't want to face. This is the part you don't want to remember, he says, his words slow, deliberate. You were part of the plan, the murder, the body, the second victim. It was all meant to get you here, to make you remember. You step back, your pulse racing as you take it all in. The pieces are falling into place, but they don't make sense. You're not just chasing a killer. You are the killer. Or at least, you were. No, you whisper, shaking your head, your hands trembling as you grip the desk for support. That's not possible. It's the only explanation that fits, he interrupts, his tone harder now. You were there. You were the one who set it all in motion. And now, you're here, with all the evidence staring you in the face. His words are a blow to your chest, knocking the air from your lungs. You can't breathe. You can't think. But you know he's right. The confession, the photographs, the keys, all of it points to you. But how could it be? How could you have done something like this and not remember? You don't understand. You say, your voice barely audible now. I couldn't have. He steps forward, his hand reaching for the folder you're still holding. His touch is light, almost gentle, but it feels like a weight pressing down on you. You did, he says, his voice softening for just a moment. You were part of something bigger than you understood. But now, you're remembering it all. You try to pull away from him, but your legs feel like they're made of stone. The room is closing in, the walls pressing against you, and the truth is suffocating you. I did it. I didn't mean to, but I did. The words from the paper echo in your mind, and then it hits you. The photograph, the key, the body. It was never about someone else. It was about you. You were the one who was meant to die. You were the one who was meant to disappear. But now, you're the one left standing, and the only thing that's left is the wreckage. The silence in the room grows unbearable, and you can feel the weight of the truth pressing on your chest. There's no escape from this, no running anymore. The man in the photograph, the one who's been dead from the start, is the same one who's been watching you. It was always meant to be this way. You look at your partner, but his expression is unreadable. You're not sure if he's here to help you or to finish what was started. But in that moment, you understand something you couldn't before. This wasn't just a murder. This was a message, a plan, and you were always supposed to be part of it. You've been watching me, you say, your voice barely a whisper. You've been using me. He nods slowly, the acknowledgement heavy between you. You were always meant to find the truth, and now you found it. But what you found isn't the relief you expected. It's a trap you set for yourself long ago. You can feel the walls closing in, the weight of your own guilt, and the truth you've been running from. And there's nothing left to do but accept it. The alibi. The room feels smaller now, like the walls are closing in around you with every word that your partner speaks. The air, thick with the weight of everything you've just uncovered, presses against your chest, squeezing the life out of you. Your mind races, trying to make sense of what's happened. But the more you try to understand, the more the pieces blur together. You thought you were hunting down the truth, but now the truth is hunting you. It's been inside you all along, buried under layers of lies and half-truths. And now that you've uncovered it, it's too much to bear. Your partner stands a few steps away, watching you with that same unreadable expression. His face is set, his jaw tight, but his eyes, they're watching you closely, carefully. Do you understand what's happened? He asks, his voice low and almost regretful. Do you understand what this means? You want to scream at him, to tell him that none of this makes sense. But instead, you hold the broken watch in your hand, the same one you found in the alley earlier, and stare at the cracked glass. The hands are still frozen at 3:15, and you wonder how long they've been stuck there, how long this game has been going on, how long you've been a pawn in it. I didn't kill anyone, you say, your voice shaking but firm. You need to believe this. You need to hear it. You didn't do it. He looks at you with something like pity, and the words that leave his lips slice through the fog in your mind like a knife. You didn't kill him in the way you think. Your stomach drops, a heavy feeling settling deep inside you. You stare at him, trying to process what he means. What does he mean by that? You're not the killer, he continues, his tone now softer, almost sympathetic. But you were there. You were part of it. And that makes you just as guilty. You take a step back, your breath catching in your throat. You shake your head, trying to make sense of his words, but nothing fits. What do you mean? How can I be guilty if I didn't kill him? Because, he says, taking a step closer, his voice hardening again. You didn't stop it. You let it happen. His words slam into you like a physical blow. Your chest tightens as the weight of them sinks in, and you can't help but feel a deep, gnawing guilt twist inside you. You weren't the one who pulled the trigger, but you were part of it. You were always part of it. You let it happen. The realization hits you harder than you can bear. The truth you've been running from isn't just about the murder. It's about what you've been hiding, about what you allowed to happen, whether you wanted it to or not. Your hands tremble as you grip the edge of the desk for support. You want to fight him, to deny it, to insist that you didn't know, that you couldn't have known. But deep down, you know the truth. You were always too close to the edge. And now, the fall is inevitable. The silence in the room is suffocating. And for the first time, you feel truly trapped. You can't escape the past. You can't escape your own guilt. But I wasn't. I know, he interrupts, his voice softer now, almost like he's trying to comfort you. But that doesn't change the fact that you were there. You could have stopped it, but you didn't. That makes you just as complicit as the person who pulled the trigger. You close your eyes, trying to push back the overwhelming feeling of suffocation. I wasn't the killer. I wasn't the one who did it. But the voice inside your head keeps whispering, you were there. You knew. I was just trying to protect myself. You say, your voice barely a whisper. I didn't want to be part of this. But you are, he replies, the finality of his words sinking in. And now, you have to live with that. The weight of his words presses down on you. But there's something else buried beneath the surface, something you didn't want to admit, something that's been gnawing at you from the start. Who killed him? Then you ask, your voice almost pleading for an answer. Who was it? If it wasn't me, then who? Your partner doesn't answer right away, his gaze shifting to the floor, his jaw tightening. You can see the hesitation in his eyes, but then he looks up at you, a flicker of something cold crossing his face. It wasn't just one person, he says slowly, the words dragging themselves out of him like he's fighting to speak them. It was all of us, and now we're all tied to it. The words hit you like a wave crashing against the shore. All of us. You take a step back, feeling the weight of them crush you. The murder, the bodies, the investigation. It wasn't just a case. It was a plan, a trap, and you were always meant to be part of it. You thought you were uncovering the truth, but now you realize you were never supposed to find it. The truth was buried so deep, you couldn't see it. And now, it's too late to undo what's been done. You were never the victim in this. You were the accomplice. Tell me who did it. You demand, your voice rising, desperation clawing at your chest. But your partner just shakes his head, his gaze unreadable. You already know. It's been you all along. The hidden letter. The room feels smaller now. The weight of everything you've just uncovered presses down on you, and with each breath you take, the air feels thinner, more suffocating. Your partner's words hang in the air, swirling around you like smoke. It's been you all along. You stare at him, trying to process, trying to understand. It doesn't make sense. You weren't the one who pulled the trigger. You weren't the one who killed him. And yet, he's right. You've been part of this from the very beginning. You've been complicit. You feel your hands shake as you grip the desk. The paper from the manila folder now crumpled in your fingers. You look at your partner, your mind spinning, and for a brief moment, you wonder if everything you've been doing has been a lie. Was this case ever about finding a killer, or was it about something much darker? You can't look away from him. His expression is cold, hard, but there's something there beneath the surface, a hint of remorse. Or is it something else entirely? He steps toward you, and for a moment, you're unsure whether to back away or face him head on. There's no going back now. No more questions to ask that could make this make sense. But the hunger for answers still gnaws at you. I didn't kill him, you whisper, almost pleading with him to validate it. But you're not sure even you believe your own words anymore. You didn't pull the trigger, he admits, his voice tight with something that sounds like regret. But there's still that sharp edge of truth in it. But you helped. You were part of it. And that makes you just as guilty. You want to shout at him, to demand to know how it all works. How did you help? How could you have been involved? But there's a heaviness in your chest that stops you. It's the truth you've been running from. It's buried inside you, and you've always known it was there. He walks to the desk, his fingers lightly brushing over the papers, the photographs, the map, everything laid out before you, everything you've worked so hard to uncover. And then he pulls out a small envelope from one of the drawers. You didn't notice it before, but now that it's in his hands, you see it clearly. The envelope is old, the paper yellowed with age. It's been sealed, but there's something off about it. The handwriting on the front is yours. Your stomach twists. You don't want to open it. You don't want to know what's inside. But he hands it to you without a word, and you take it. Your fingers numb against the fragile paper. You need to see this, he says. This is where everything started. This is where you find out who you really are. With trembling hands, you tear open the envelope, feeling the weight of its contents pressing against you. Inside is a single sheet of paper, written in your handwriting, just like the other notes. But this one is different. It's a confession. The truth is buried deeper than I thought. But I can't stop. I can't go back. I have to finish this, no matter what it costs. You stop reading. Your breath catches in your throat. The words too familiar, too real. You've read this before. You wrote this. But why? The door creaks open, and your partner watches you with a mixture of pity and something darker. You knew, he says, his voice almost gentle. You knew it all along. You want to scream, to run, but you can't. The words are etched in your mind, etched into your soul, and you realize, finally, that the truth isn't something you can run from anymore. The photograph, the bodies, the map, the key, They weren't the only things you've been hiding. There's something deeper, something darker, something buried in your past that you never wanted to face. Who am I? You ask him, your voice breaking. Your partner steps forward, his gaze unwavering. You already know. He says, you've always known. The question is, can you live with it? You look down at the envelope in your hands, the confession that was never meant to be uncovered. The truth is too much to bear, but it's staring back at you. And now, there's nowhere left to hide. He's right. You've always known. You turn and walk toward the door, the weight of the truth pressing down on you like a heavy stone. The room fades behind you, but the path ahead is still shrouded in darkness. You can't outrun it anymore. The confession is only the beginning. The broken window. The street outside is darker now, the rain a whisper against the pavement. As you step into the night, the weight of the confession, of everything you've just uncovered, presses on your chest like a heavy stone. It's a truth that feels too big for you, too dark to fully grasp. But it's yours. You can't run from it anymore. Your mind races, unable to slow down. The envelope, the confession, the photographs, they're all pieces of a puzzle, and you're too deep now to back out. You're walking a line between the past and the present, but there's one thing that keeps clawing at your mind: the man in the photograph, the second body, the hidden room. They're all part of the same story, and you're still missing something. Your partner's words echo in your mind. You've always known. The question is, can you live with it? You want to deny it, to scream that it's not true, that you've been manipulated. But deep down, you know he's right. You've always been part of this. You just didn't want to face it. You step further into the street, your feet heavy against the wet ground. The city around you feels cold, unfamiliar, like a place you no longer belong. The shadows stretch long beneath the streetlights, the quiet hum of the world around you like a distant lullaby. But there's no peace to be found here, no comfort, only questions. As you walk, you glance over at the alleyway, the same alleyway where the first body was found. It seems different now, as though the rain has washed away everything, leaving only the remnants of what happened. You can still see the place where the body was sprawled, the marks left behind by the struggle. But something catches your eye, a figure standing at the entrance of the alley. They're watching you. You freeze for a moment, your heart pounding, but you don't look away. You need to know. You need to understand who this person is. You take a step closer, and as you do, the figure shifts, stepping into the shadows, disappearing just as quickly as they appeared. You move toward the alley, a feeling of dread washing over you. You shouldn't go in. You know it's a bad idea, but you can't shake the feeling that this is the last piece you're missing. You round the corner into the alley, the faint smell of damp concrete filling the air. The place is quiet, eerily still, and for a moment, you wonder if you've made a mistake. But then you see it, the broken window. It's the same window that overlooked the spot where the body was found. The glass is shattered, jagged pieces still clinging to the frame, the remnants of a struggle that no one bothered to clean up. The darkness beyond it seems to pull at you like a magnet, and you know this is where it started. This is where everything connects. You step closer to the window, your fingers brushing against the broken glass, and for the first time, you understand. The body, the clues, the map, it was all leading you here. This window, this broken frame, is a symbol of everything you've been running from, the truth that's been buried in front of you. A sudden gust of wind whips through the alley, the cold biting at your skin. You shiver, but you don't move away from the window. You step closer, pressing your face against the cold glass, and that's when you see it. A figure in the shadows, just beyond the glass. They're standing still, but you can tell they're watching you. They know you're here. They've always known. Your pulse spikes as you turn, looking around the alley for any sign of movement. But there's nothing. The figure is gone. The alley is silent once again. You step back, your heart racing in your chest. But as you do, you feel a sharp pain in your side, a sudden, intense ache that cuts through the fog in your mind. You place your hand over your ribs, the cold shock of realization sinking in. You've been hit. You stumble back, your breath shallow, and you can feel the blood begin to pool in your hand. It's warm, sticky, and it's the last thing you expected to feel. But it's not just the wound that's making your head spin. It's the realization that this is the price, the cost of the truth. You're too far in to turn back now, too deep to crawl out of the hole you've dug. The broken window, the body, the key. It was all part of this, part of the trap you couldn't avoid. The pain in your side intensifies, but you push through it, stumbling backward into the alley, your vision blurring, your legs give way beneath you, but you catch yourself against the brick wall, trying to stay on your feet. But there's something else, something you can't ignore. The figure, the one you saw in the shadows, they've been here all along. And now, as you clutch your side, the weight of everything becomes clear. They're not just watching you, they're waiting for you to make a choice. You gasp for air, feeling your vision begin to fade. And the last thing you hear before everything goes black is a voice, distant and cold. You're part of it now, and there's no way out. The missing person. You wake up to the sound of sirens in the distance, the dim glow of a nearby streetlight filtering through the haze of rain that clings to the window. The cold is unbearable, seeping into your bones. But it's not the cold that makes you shiver. It's the realization that you've crossed a line, one you can't uncross. Your head is pounding, a dull throb that matches the ache in your side where you were shot. The pain is sharp, but it's not the physical wound that makes you feel like you're falling apart. It's the truth that's unraveling in your mind, thread by thread. Like a tapestry of lies, you push yourself up, the dizziness almost too much to bear. The room around you is a blur, but you know it's not the hospital. You're somewhere else, somewhere you weren't meant to be. The familiar hum of a low conversation reaches your ears, and you slowly turn your head to see a figure standing at the door. It's your partner. He's watching you from the doorway, his expression unreadable, but there's something different now, something darker in his eyes, something that's shifted between the two of you. His posture is stiff, tense, like he's preparing for something. You're awake, he says softly, his voice colder than before. There's no sympathy in it, no relief that you've made it through the night. You blink, trying to focus, trying to clear the fog from your mind, but it's hard to think, hard to process anything. Your hand instinctively moves to your side, where the wound still burns with an angry fire, but there's no blood anymore, no sign of the injury except for the ache that lingers. What happened? You managed to croak, your voice hoarse, barely a whisper. His eyes flicker to the floor, as if the question has taken him off guard. You were shot, but you're fine. You've always been fine. The words are meant to reassure you, but they don't. They sound hollow, meaningless. You've always been fine. The phrase rings in your head, but it doesn't make sense. You try to sit up, but the pain in your side is enough to make you gasp, forcing you to fall back onto the bed. The room spins around you, but you don't care. The questions are louder now, louder than the pain. Why? Why did this happen? You look up at him, your eyes narrowing with suspicion. Who did this to me, you ask, your voice steady now, despite the panic that still claws at you. He steps forward, his face unreadable. Does it matter? He asks, his tone sharp, as though he's trying to dismiss your question. You were always meant to find the truth. Remember? This is just the cost. The cost. The words echo in your head like a broken record, and suddenly it all clicks into place. The murder, the bodies, the strange twists and turns of the investigation. It's all connected, but not in the way you thought. You're not investigating the death of someone else. You're investigating yourself. He takes another step closer, and for the first time, you see the flicker of something dangerous in his eyes. The man in the alley, the one who's been pulling the strings. You're part of it, he repeats, his voice low and dangerous. You always were, and now that you've figured it out, there's no going back. The weight of his words sinks into you like a rock, and for a moment, the room seems to close in on you, suffocating you. You've been looking for answers, but the answers weren't outside of you. They were inside, buried in your own mind. You were the one who was always being watched. You were the one who was meant to find the body. But there's one thing you haven't figured out yet. Who was the second body? You look at your partner, desperation and confusion in your eyes. What about the second body? The one you said would change everything. What does that mean? He hesitates, his gaze shifting away from you for a brief moment, as if he's considering whether to tell you the truth. But then his expression hardens, and he takes a deep breath. The second body, it's someone you know, someone you've been searching for all along. Your stomach drops, and the world seems to tilt on its axis. You weren't expecting this, weren't expecting him to be the next part of the puzzle. The person you've been chasing is someone you've known your whole life, someone who's been there all along, hiding in plain sight. He steps back, his eyes cold. The second body was never meant to be found by you, but you're too far in now. There's no turning back. The person you've been looking for is you. You feel the ground shift beneath your feet, and for a moment, the world around you spins. The room is too small, the walls too close. Your breath comes in shallow gasps, and you try to push yourself upright again. But it's impossible. The truth is too much to hold at once. It's too heavy. You've always known, he continues, his voice quieter now, almost affectionate. You've always known who you were, and now it's time for you to face it. You stare at him, your mind trying to make sense of the pieces, but they won't fit. Who am I? The question burns in your chest, but no answer comes. The truth has finally caught up to you, and there's nowhere left to run. The final truth. The words hit you like a thunderclap, reverberating through your chest. You've always known who you were. The sentence lingers in the room, hanging in the thick, heavy silence. You want to scream, to demand more answers, but nothing feels clear. The room spins, and for a moment, you close your eyes to block out the dizzying onslaught of revelations. This can't be real. You've always known the confusion is overwhelming, but it feels like your mind is clawing its way through the fog, trying to push through something that's been buried deep inside you for too long. You turn your gaze to your partner, but even his cold, unflinching stare feels like a lie now. What is he not telling me? Tell me everything, you say, your voice hoarse, desperate. You need answers. You need something to hold on to. Anything to pull you back from this dark edge you've been teetering on. For a moment, he doesn't respond. He simply watches you, his eyes scanning you with an almost clinical detachment, like he's waiting for you to reach the final step. You think this is about the body, he says, his voice low, almost pained. But it's not. The body is just the beginning. It was never about the murder. It's about control. The power you've always had, but never knew how to wield. The words strike you like a slap, cold and harsh, and you're left standing there, frozen, caught between your own understanding and the terrifying unknown. You shake your head, trying to clear it. Control power. It doesn't make sense. You've been hunting down a killer, a murderer, a body. But this isn't just about that. This is about you, he continues, his voice gaining strength, almost accusing. You've been the one in charge all along, the one pulling the strings. You've just been too afraid to admit it to yourself. A bitter laugh escapes your lips, unbidden. Me, the one in charge. You try to push it away, but the pieces are starting to click. Slowly, the fog in your mind begins to lift, and a dreadful clarity emerges. You remember things, fragments of your past, the hidden room, the map, the second body. Your partner leans in closer now, his breath warm against your ear, his voice a whisper of darkness. The second body was never meant to be found. It was meant to make you face the truth. It's someone you've been running from your whole life. The room feels colder, and your chest tightens with a sense of dread. Your mind flashes back to everything you've seen, the fragments of memory that never quite added up. But now, it's all coming together. The name you've been avoiding, the face you've tried to forget, the second body. You whisper, "It's me." Your partner's smile is thin, almost imperceptible, but it's there. Yes, it was always you. You've been hiding in plain sight. The truth about who you really are. It was never about solving a murder. It was about remembering. You stagger back, your legs weak beneath you, and your hands tremble. The cold reality crashes over you. You were the killer. You were the victim. You were the one who died. The realization is unbearable, and the weight of it presses down on you like 1,000 bricks. You've been chasing ghosts, your own ghosts. The photographs, the bodies, the keys, they were all connected to your past, to the person you used to be, the person you've tried so hard to forget. But why? The question escapes your lips before you can stop it. Why didn't I remember? Your partner steps back, his gaze still fixed on you, unwavering, because it was easier to forget. You buried it, and now you've found your way back to it. But this, he gestures around the room, this is the last step, the final truth you can't escape. Your mind spins, the memories flooding back like a torrent, the faces of those who once loved you, the ones you left behind, the feeling of emptiness, of loss that's been with you for as long as you can remember. It wasn't just a murder. It wasn't just a body. It was you, the person you once were, the person who had been lost, erased from your own memory. And now, as the pieces fall into place, the realization settles in. You were never meant to survive this. You were always meant to come back, to face yourself again. The game wasn't about solving a crime. It was about remembering who you really were. You're the one who died. You're the one who was killed, the one who had to disappear. But now, you're the one left standing, staring at the remnants of a life you've tried to forget. The room is spinning, the truth closing in on you from every angle. But there's something else now, something that burns in your chest. You found the final answer. The question isn't who killed the second body. The question is, how much of this can you live with? You turn away from your partner, stumbling toward the door, the weight of the truth crushing you with every step. But as you open it, the darkness presses in around you like a suffocating blanket. You thought you could escape. You thought you could outrun the past. But now, you know there's no escaping who you were, and you can't outrun yourself. The twist. The door clicks shut behind you, but the weight of it doesn't offer relief. You're still standing there, in the heart of the night, as the world spins around you, reeling from everything that's been revealed. The rain has stopped, but the air still feels thick, like the entire city is holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. And something is about to. You feel the sting in your chest, the weight of the truth that's finally settled in. You were always part of this. The body, the lies, the second body. It was all leading you to this moment. You've been chasing your own reflection in a twisted, shattered mirror, and now that you've seen it, there's no unseeing it. You step back, your heart pounding as your breath quickens, and for a moment, you just stand there. Your hand moves instinctively to your coat pocket, and you feel the cold edge of the photograph, the one that's haunted you from the beginning. You don't know why, but you can't stop yourself from looking at it again. The man, the victim, his face stares back at you, a mere blur, like a memory you can't quite place. But there's something more, something buried beneath the surface. He's you. The realization slams into you with the force of a tidal wave. He's you. The body, the second body. It was you all along. And now, the truth is clear. The twisted maze you've been chasing, the pieces you've been trying to put together, they were all leading you to one conclusion. You've been investigating your own death. You stagger back, your mind scrambling to process what you've just discovered. And for a moment, you wish you could go back to when things were simpler, before the puzzle pieces started to fall into place. But you can't. There's no turning back now. The sound of footsteps behind you breaks your thoughts, sharp and sudden, and you turn quickly, half expecting to see your partner, but it's not him. It's someone else. A figure emerges from the darkness, a tall shadow that seems to blend with the night. They move silently, a presence that fills the alleyway with a sense of dread, a coldness that creeps into your bones. You freeze, your heart skipping a beat, but you can't move. Something about this person feels different. The way they stand, the way they look at you. It's as if they know everything, everything about you. Is it really you? A voice asks, low and full of something dark, something you can't quite place. You don't answer. You can't. The question feels like a challenge, and your throat tightens as you realize that, yes, you do know this person. You've known them for years, but you can't place them. Your mind races, trying to remember, trying to dredge up the connection, but it's buried too deep. Who are you, you ask? Your voice shaky, but defiant. The figure steps forward, and their face becomes clearer in the dim light. Their features are sharp, familiar, but there's something twisted about the way they look at you. No, you think, no, this can't be real, but it is. And as the pieces continue to fall into place, you know this is the twist you never saw coming. The figure takes another step forward, and your heart races. I've been watching you, they say, their voice a rasp that sends a chill down your spine. And I've been waiting for you to remember. It's time, you know. The words hit you like a jolt of electricity. They know. They've always known. And now, as they stand in front of you, it's like everything is finally clicking into place. This isn't just about the murder. This isn't just about the body. This is about you. The truth was never meant to be uncovered. It was meant to stay buried. And you, the person who's been chasing this whole time, are the one who's been hiding it all along. You want to run. You want to scream. But you can't move. You're paralyzed by the realization that this is it. This is the final twist. You weren't just chasing a murderer. You were chasing your own past, your own death. You don't remember me, do you? The figure says again, their eyes narrowing as they get closer. It's okay. I didn't want you to, but now You have to face it. You have to face what you did. The words hang in the air, heavy and suffocating. What did you do? The voice from earlier, the one on the phone, echoes in your mind once more. You've always been part of this, and now the full weight of it all crashes down. The game you've been playing, the lies, the bodies, the murders, it was all leading you to this moment. You weren't just investigating a crime, you were investigating your own soul. The figure smiles, a slow, deliberate thing, and you feel the last thread of hope snap. There's no escape from this. You've been part of the story all along, and now there's nothing left to hide. You're not going to run, they say softly, as if reading your mind. You've been running from yourself for long enough. You try to move, but it's useless. The truth has you cornered, and there's nowhere left to go. The last lie. The figure before you seems to grow taller, darker, as they move closer, their presence swallowing the alleyway, tightening the space around you. The weight of their words lingers in the air, thick and suffocating. You try to push them away, to clear your mind, but the truth is everywhere now, woven into every moment, every step you've taken. You've always been part of this, they repeat, their voice a chilling whisper, the words digging deeper into your chest with every syllable. You want to scream, to fight, but the words catch in your throat. You've been running for so long, running from the body, from the clues, from your own mind, and now all you have left is the cold, suffocating weight of your own past. The figure steps closer until you can feel the heat of their breath on your skin. You don't dare move. You don't dare blink. You're not who you think you are. They continue, their tone calm, almost soothing, like they're explaining something painfully simple. The killer, the victim, they were both you. You've always been both. It's like a punch to the gut. You stagger back, the world tilting, but there's nowhere to go. You've been trapped in a web of lies, and now you're finally seeing the full picture. The bodies, the clues, the photos. It was all part of the same twisted story, the story of you. Your chest tightens as the words begin to sink in. The first body, the second body, the murder you thought you were investigating, it was never someone else. It was always you. And now, you're facing the truth that's been buried for far too long. You don't get it. You say, your voice shaking, desperation creeping in, I didn't do this. I couldn't have. I don't remember. But the figure cuts you off, their eyes glinting in the darkness, as though they've been waiting for this moment for years. You remember more than you think, they say softly. You've been lying to yourself, pretending you don't know the truth. The world around you shifts again, the truth closing in, the walls of the alley feeling smaller, tighter. You feel like you're suffocating, and the weight of everything becomes too much to bear. Who are you? You finally whisper, your voice barely audible. What do you want from me? The figure smiles, but it's a smile filled with something darker, something that sends a shiver down your spine. I've already gotten what I want. You've given me the truth. Now, it's time for you to face it. They take a step back, and for a moment, you think they're going to disappear into the darkness again, like they always do. But instead, they pull something from their pocket, a photograph, the one you've been staring at for what feels like a lifetime, the one you thought was the key. But there's something different about it now. You take a step forward, your eyes glued to the image, the man, the victim. But now, his face is clearer than ever before, the image sharp and unmistakable, and you finally recognize it for what it is. It's your face. The photograph in your hands is of you. You've been staring at yourself this whole time, chasing your own reflection without realizing it. The realization crashes into you like a wave, knocking the breath from your lungs. You don't remember, the figure asks, their voice mocking, as if they know this truth will break you. You thought you were looking for someone else, but it was always you. You stagger back, the world spinning around you, the body, the photograph, the key. It was all a lie, a carefully crafted lie to make you forget, to make you chase something that was never meant to be found. You were the one who died, the figure says, their words hanging in the air like a cold, cruel echo. But you never stayed dead, did you? You came back, and now you have to face it. You stumble backward, your breath shallow, your mind reeling, your hands shake as you hold the photograph, the truth staring back at you in the form of your own face. I didn't kill him, you whisper, your voice barely audible, as if saying it out loud will somehow make it true. But the figure just laughs, a low, guttural sound that seems to echo off the walls of the alley. It doesn't matter anymore. The truth is out, and you'll never outrun it. The figure turns, disappearing into the night as silently as they came. But you're left standing there, holding the photograph, the weight of the truth crushing down on you. You were never looking for a killer. You were looking for yourself. And now, you can't escape the past that's been buried deep inside you. The alleyway around you is silent now, the rain long gone, and you're left alone with the final lie, the one you've been telling yourself for so long. You were never meant to find the answers. You were meant to remember. And now that you have, there's nothing left to do but face the consequences.